Good morning, everyone. We're going to come into child's pose to begin today. So bring the big toes together. Sit on the heels to start with. And you can take the knees as wide as is needed to accommodate the hips. We'll want to then lean forward and release the head towards some sort of support. So if the head doesn't comfortably reach the mat, then this is where we'll take a block or a stacked blanket or something. All right, so I kind of rock side to side, try to find that center point, and then allow the spine to really extend and get nice and loose and long, and then rest the head. So in child's pose, we can extend the arms out in front of us if that helps us feel more spacious. Or if you like the feeling of the back being broader, you could bring the arms alongside you. So maybe you want to play with both. Try one, then switch to the other. And we're going to work with the breath here. So as you inhale here, the mind is below heart level, and we're breathing the belly to the thighs as we inhale and expand. And as we exhale, just softening the hips toward the earth and into the heels. Inhale through the nose. Pause, feel the belly and the whole torso expand. Exhale, release the back and the hips toward the earth. Feel the weight of your body. Let the tongue get soft and drop away from the teeth. And just let go of any thoughts, any mind chatter, any clutter in the mind, in the body. So on our next inhale, let's make sure the hands are in front of us. And we were going to come elbows under shoulders, curl the toes. If you're wearing glasses, go ahead, take those off. And we're going to rest the head heavy in the hands. So I'm taking the bottom wrist, palm of my hand, placing it at the bottom of the orbital bone, and then extending my fingers into my hairline. And then adjusting the feet and hips as necessary to just allow the head drop its full weight into the hands. So a lot of times we're holding and feeling tension through the neck. And in this position, we just want to stop holding, just exhaling, belly heavy, head heavy, tongue heavy. And feel the strength and support of your arms with the elbows right under the wrist, supporting the head. And just let yourself move further away from the outer world and really sink deeply into your inner world here. Just letting go of preoccupations, letting go of thoughts of the past or the future. Letting the back of the neck soften. Letting the spine release toward the belly, toward the floor. Breathing in, smooth and even through the nose. Breathing out, smooth and even through the nose. One last breath here. See how heavy you can allow the head to get. How much can you let go of through the neck and shoulders? How much can you trust the arms to support you? And then we're going to go ahead and release back to child's pose. So settle the hips back over the heels. Rest the forehead again to the mat or the block. And once again, breathe the belly toward thighs as you inhale. Exhale, the back broadens, the hips sink down lower, and the tongue softens and releases. Nice, quiet mind here, just cultivating a gratitude for being in the body, being in the moment. And then we're going to come forward again on that next inhale. And this time we're going to bring the thumbs into a little pressure point right at the inner edge. So at the inner edge inside of the eyebrow, there's a little hollow point. So you can feel the bone there with your thumb. And then you want the tip of your thumb to just be in the hollow point. And again, we're going to try to rest the head heavy on those points. So I'm going to bring the palms of the hands together and just have the thumbs like placeholder. And same concept, we were resting the head heavy. And this time, this will bring a little bit of sensation there that might help to clear the sinuses, respiratory area. You might find your breath clearing out a little bit here. Might relieve some tension through the head, forehead. Just breathing into this, letting the belly get heavy, letting the head be heavy, feeling the support of the arms. Let's do one last breath here. Just noticing, observing what sort of sensations this brings up for you. And then we'll release. And once again, head back to child's pose, where we're just allowing ourselves to get really quiet through the mind. Find some stillness. Breathe. Here as you breathe, belly to thighs on that inhalation. Perhaps you'll feel the side ribs expand out a little bit, right to left. And breath move into the back, making it broader. And then you'll exhale and just sink downward, letting go. Next inhalation, we'll come forward and we will come into a tabletop. So let's bring the fingertips to point back here toward us. And we will work those forearms and wrists open. Spread the fingers wide. And just pause for a moment. See how much you can stack the shoulders over the hands. See how much you can get the knuckles and the wrists to really press evenly into the floor, the fingers into the floor. If you've been out pulling weeds or working with the rake or in the yard, you might feel this a little bit more. This area tightens up on us. We're going to do a few cow cats here. Just inhaling the spine toward the front body, looking out ahead of us at the floor, feeling the chest and the sitting bones broaden. And then releasing the tops of the feet. I'm going to pull the belly button up and in and extend and arch through the back toward the ceiling. You can go at your own flow. A couple of cycles with the breath here. Just taking stock of and observing whatever comes up for you in the body, and never pushing through or causing pain or harm, but just listening, backing off when we need to, knowing when to stop, knowing where your edge is. Finding that balance of knowing how to challenge the body and our habits and our mindset without causing harm, without being destructive. So I'm going to come back to neutral this time. Release the hands. And stretch back to child's pose once more. So really hoping that we can get those sitting bones over the heels and then really let the hips sink down. Let yourself get heavy. Nice full breath here. Inhale and expand. Exhale, soften. As that breath leaves, diffuse into softness through the inner body. Feel yourself sinking downward, letting go, returning to your roots, returning to the earth, being in this moment. And next inhale, as we come forward, we'll leave the hands facing forward. We'll go through cow and cat for a few cycles. Again, make sure that the shoulders are over the hands, that the knuckles and wrists feel smoothly grounded to the mat, even and balanced. And use your inhalation with the toes curled to move the spine toward the front body. Use your exhalation with the feet flat and the belly drawing up and in to move to cat. Really visualizing the spinal movement through the inner body here. So the rest of the body is supporting the spine, and the spine is just the leader here moving. And the rest of the body will have to adjust slightly, but we don't want the hands or knees to have to move out of position. If the hands are coming up, that's telling us something about the shoulders, the shoulder opening. So again, just observing, really trying to look at ourselves with a mirror that is clean and has clarity. Self-awareness. So let's do 2 more cycles, wherever you're at with the breath. When I go into cow, things get heavy and soft. The heart's vulnerable and open. When I go into cat, I feel my core strength supporting me. I feel my back body protecting me. And when I slide the spine through the middle, I feel where one ends and the other begins. So let's sink back to child's pose one more time and enjoy a nice full breath there. Sink into yourself. Sink into the moment. Exhale, the tongue heavy and the hips heavy. Let the throat soften and broaden. Feel the space that opens up for the next inhalation and really bring energy where it is needed through the inner body. Then bring your chin to your sternum and roll up, head heavy, engaging the core until we're upright, sitting on our heels for just a moment. Let's slide off the feet, hips to the right. Take a little gentle twist, just a nice reach like a rainbow. Let that hand come behind you, ground through this arm, open the chest, open the heart, deep inhalation. Vajrasana. As you breathe here, can you inhale and open through the thoracic spine, across the heart, broaden the chest. As you exhale, can you root the hips, the bottom hand behind you, more into the earth? Don't strain with the head or neck. Just let the heart open. Let the spine gently twist. Let the hips be heavy. One more breath here. And then slide back onto the heels. Open the fingers wide. Take a breath here. And then we'll slide off to the left. Vajrasana. Just a nice big arch. Turning gently. Don't strain with the head or neck. Root here and into the backhand. Inhalation, spread and open the heart. Be open to experiencing things with the heart. Gratitude for the body, for the breath, for the moment. Let go of the strain through the neck, the shoulders, or the head. And exhale and come back to the heels for one breath. Stretch those fingers wide. Press the spine forward, heart open. And then we'll come back to tabletop, spreading those fingers wide. We'll move back to down dog now. So we've worked through cow and cat a few times. Hopefully that will help you to establish neutral. Keep the hands in position, elongate the arms and the spine, and come up on your toes as you lift into your first down dog. And then you could work cow or cat from here if you find that helpful. You could bend the knees, press the chest toward the legs, feel that chest open up and really secure the humerus in the hollow armpit. And then coming up higher, chin to sternum, engage the belly in a cat-like position. And then maintain that. Extend the head outline with the arms, lower the heels, find your neutral spine, chest and back equal. Deep, full breath. And then we'll release knees. So we've got hands, knees, feet, toes. Toes are curled. We've got that nice arch. And then we do 8-point salutation. Bring the chest and chin down. Melt and relax the whole body down. Stack the hands for the head. Rest the head heavy. And once again, return to that belly breath, really similar to what we were doing in child's pose. Inhale and expand. Take in what you need. Exhale, soften. Return to your roots. Let go of what does not serve you. And then we'll come into Sphinx. I'm going to press the forearms down, elbows under shoulders. My upper arm is externally rotated, chest open, collarbones broad. My lower forearms internally rotated, rooting at the pointer finger thumb. And I will use that to keep the hands in place and just straighten the arm bones. Coming up with that chest still open, stretching the belly long. Exhaling into a heavy sacrum. And active, strong legs, feet pressing into the floor. One more breath here. And slow release. Stack the hands, rest the head, return to that belly breath. Inhale, exhale, the law of reciprocity. We receive and we give back. Let that be a reminder to just be present, grateful in the body. Let everything else go. Plant the hands and we'll extend the hips back. Keep those arms engaged and strong and take downward dog again. So maybe you like to do cow cat to help you establish a neutral spine. Maybe you're already there. Or maybe you want to bend one knee at a time, pedal the opposite heel toward the floor. Maybe you want to do a combination. Up to you. Find your flow. Find what brings you most to neutral, most stable, most long through the spine, the most relaxed through the head. And then 8-point salutation. We want to let that spine get fluid, flowing toward the earth, heart soft, and then melting down. Breathing into the belly and letting that breath expand the side ribs and into the back. Exhaling, releasing the body toward the earth. Feet in line with hips, elbows under shoulders, Sphinx. Elongate the tricep into the earth. Move the upper arms toward the back body, collarbones broad. Sacrum is heavy. Keep the hands in place, straighten, come up higher, lengthen that belly. Shins parallel to the earth. Inhale, the spine and the heart press forward. Exhale, pull the belly button to the back. Breathe down into the sacrum and anchor. Slow release. Stack the hands. Rest the head. Belly breath. Grateful that the body responds. Present in your body in this moment. And let's head back to our downward dog again. Third time is a charm if you haven't quite found the exact alignment you're needing yet. I'm sure we'll get there this time. Upper arm externally rotated, lower forearm internally rotated, the armpits hollow, the energy flows up the arms along the side ribs. The thighs work toward one another at the midline, the calves spread and work out toward the pinky toe side of the foot, lowering the heels. And then knees come down, get into that flow, curl the toes, feel the arch in the foot, keep the elbows close, melt the heart. Release the whole body. Find your flow, neutral breath. Letting go of any stress or tension. Letting go of any mind chatter that might come up. Into Sphinx, pressing down with the triceps, the strong legs, the hips. Rising through the heart, open and grateful. Press into the hands, straighten the arms, activate the heart even more. Cultivating gratitude for this moment, for how the body responds to our intentions. Find that law of reciprocity here. Breathing in, the spine moves forward, the heart is open. Breathing out, we anchor down into the sacrum, into the feet, and we return energy to the earth. And slow release. Stack the hands, rest the head. Breathe your belly to your mat. Feel the breath expand the side ribs and the back. Exhale, soften. Back releases towards your mat. Hips soften. Back of the neck softens. The jaw softens. Hands press into place. We're going back to downward facing dog once more. Get those sitting bones nice and high. Come up on your toes. The heels never have to reach the floor. If that causes the spine to come out of alignment, don't worry about that. Keep the heels up. It's just sort of an energetic feeling that they're working to root toward the earth in that direction that we're looking for. Belly should feel drawn up and in. If you're feeling unstable, feeling like you have to bring the hands closer or things are slipping, then we really want to activate that Uddiyana Bandha, which cat will help with if you bring the chin to the sternum. Straighten the legs. We'll get that belly to pull up and in and support things at center. And then you can once again go ahead and release the head out in line with the arms and try to find neutral, but still have that belly engaged. So one more breath here. And then let's walk the hands and feet together. And we will bend the knees, hold the elbows, and come into a hang. Head extremely heavy. Focus in on the soles of the feet. We want to engage Pada Bandha here. I want the inner ball mount and the outer ball mount in the center of the heel to all root down. I'm going to tack those down like I'm putting up a tent. And then I'm going to feel my inner arch really rise up and bring energy up the legs and support me. And we're going to keep the feet really working that Pada Bandha and then come into half Uttanasana. So I'm going to press my hands into the floor and extend the spine, but you could bring the hands to the tops of the feet or to the shins, just wanting to make sure that you find the place where you can really get the femurs to move in the backs of the legs and the spine to extend out. So if we're doing this right and we've got Pada Bandha engaged, we're really feeling the backs of the legs light up. They're getting a lot of energy. And then the belly really draws up and in, vacuums, packs toward the back of the body, and allows us to extend through the spine, sitting bones broadening behind us. All right, so let's go back to the hang. We'll bend the knees, deepen the groins, release the head heavy, breathe the belly to thighs. And then we'll press down into the feet. Position the hands in the way that works for us and come into half Uttanasana. Light up the backs of the legs. The inner ball mount somewhere between the big toe and the second toe, and the outer ball mount between the pinky toe and fourth toe. And then center of the heel directly in center so that the arch lifts, brings energy up the legs. You really want to feel like your femurs are moving into the hamstrings and the backs of the knees here. Sitting bones broaden, crown of the head elongates forward. And one last time with this hang sequence. So we're really letting everything go and softening. Bringing belly to thighs, sinking the sitting bones down. And then we're activating into half Uttanasana to elongate the spine, open the legs, draw our belly up and in. All right, back to the hang. I'm trying to release my belly right onto my thighs as I come into my hang, then letting my head get really heavy, my back broad. And then I'm going to release the elbows and bring my hands to my low back and breathe into my low back and hopefully feel some of that breath move into my hands placed there. Then I'll reach the arms and the sitting bones back and bring the sternum forward till I find center. And I'm going to take powerful pose here. Arms in line with ears, reaching to the sky. The spine's long, the chest and back are equal. Squeezing the thighs towards center like we have a block between the knees, pulling the belly button to the back. Exhale back into your hang and enjoy that moment of release. Soften into it. Take a nice belly breath there. And then pressing down into Pada Bandha and straightening the legs, extending the spine. Take a breath here. Then releasing back to the hang. Let the sitting bones sink down. Breathe belly toward thighs. Bring the hands to the low back. Breathe into your hands. Reach the arms and the sitting bones back, the chest forward. Powerful pose. Chest and back equal. Work at the core and the quads and press the arms behind you. Lift up onto the balls of the feet. Press the heart forward and then sink back down. Heels and sitting bones releasing. And then back to the hang, letting go. Press into the feet, Pada Bandha. Straighten the legs, extend the spine. This time, let's bring the hands behind the legs. Bring the chin toward the sternum. And gently draw the chest closer to the legs. Find your edge. Work at the place where you can maintain the alignment, where we challenge ourselves without doing unnecessary harm. Focus on the breath. Get to your edge and then focus on the breath. Let it soften and blur the edge. Next inhale, we're going to reach out wide, come up through the legs, the core, reach to the sky. And let those arms come down. We'll move into Tadasana at the front edge of our mat. All right, so take a moment and establish Padabandha with the feet facing forward and right under the hips. Press the big toe down, lift the other toes up. Then release all the toes nice and wide, like the roots of a tree spreading out, finding that support. There is a feeling here that the heads of the femurs are like screws that we could tighten into internal rotation to establish a nice, strong stability. And then the muscles of the thighs broaden toward the back body. I want to make sure I don't have any tilt in the pelvis, so I like to just bring my hands there. Make sure they feel even. Right to left, front to back. And then I want to open the heart. Let me take the arms back. Let the arms release at my sides. Arrange the head right over the neck. With our strong roots, we feel stable. And yet we have this beautiful open heart. Cultivating gratitude for the moment, compassion for ourselves, compassion for our experience, compassion for other people's experiences. Breathing in the law of reciprocity. I'm taking in what I need. And I'm letting go of and giving back when I exhale. Tongue is heavy and soft, moving away from the teeth. We're going to bring the hands together at the heart, and just a reminder that the right and left sides of the body should be zipped together at center, that the heart is the center of the chakra system, that we want to move and be motivated to move from the heart, that be in an awareness of the heart space in all things that we do. Inhale, we're reaching to the sky. Our feet are planted, but we'll reach up and back and lengthen that belly. And then we'll exhale into the hang. A moment of heaviness. Then we press into Padabandha. Straighten the legs, extend the spine. And then we'll exhale into the fold. Chin to sternum, back broad, legs straight. And then we'll bend the knees, reach the sitting bones and arms back, the chest forward. Find our powerful pose. And then we'll turn to the right side and open our chest wide, powerful pose with a twist. Come back to center, and we'll go the other way. Squeeze the knees toward each other, pull the belly button to the back body, and then open up and turn, broad chest. Full breath here, and back to center. Exhale into your hang. Press into Padabandha, straight legs, extended spine. Exhale into a fold, legs straight. Inhale, come all the way up. Reach for the sky. Lift the heart. Return to mountain. If your roots became disturbed, reset them. If the flow took you out of balance in the breath, reset. Be in your center, heart open, breath flowing. Find a focus point for your eyes and steadily take more weight into the right foot. As you bend the left knee, come up onto the toes. Stay square and lift. So we're standing on one leg. I'm going to flex the toes so I have a nice arch in the foot. And then we'll move towards standing twist. Turning the belly button and chest toward the lifted leg and reaching my arms wide again. Nice full breath. And releasing. Back to mountain, pressing reset. If you're having trouble getting into that twist, make sure you're slowly shifting your focus point, your gaze. Don't just turn the head quickly. Steadily find a focus point as you're turning, staying in your center. All right, left foot is going to take steadily more weight as I bend the right knee. Eyes focused on a unmoving point. I draw up, flex the toes, stay square. And then I turn slowly. Belly button is turning toward the lifted leg. Arms are reaching wide to open the chest. Breath is flowing. And I'm releasing. Beautiful. So letting go of any tension, if the toes were curling, gripping, or if we're feeling some tension up through here, those are places that might try to grip and help, because mentally you think maybe you can help that way, but it's not helpful. So let it go. And remember that we want to take that energy and instead focus it into here in the legs. So we are going to do standing twist again. So you could stay with the version we did. You could also, if you're having trouble really feeling your standing twist and getting balanced and getting a deep twist, something that you might want to do is move to the wall and use it for balance. And just try to open that chest toward the wall. Okay, and if you're feeling like you can do a little more challenge, then after we have the knee bent, we could work to straighten the leg and come into that deeper version of the standing twist where we grab the toes. So I'm going to encourage you to choose the right place to work for you. Starting at mountain. Focus point, so important. Being rooted before we begin, so important. Wanting to find that neutral, establish it, and help us maintain it as we move through the progression of the pose. So I want to slowly, just as I'm taking the knee and bending it, I feel the weight move out of that foot, more into the right foot. Pada Bandha, right? Core is strong, belly button to the spine, and I lift up. So you can move into the standing twist here, or you could grab the toes, or use a strap if you have it at home. Pull the belly button back toward the spine as you extend the leg out. Switch your grip with your hand, reaching back with the left arm. Slowly turn your belly button and gaze.
Keep breathing. And releasing when you're ready. Ooh. So, if you have trouble feeling that twist, definitely go to the wall and find that way to deepen that twist. It's so instructive. You can take it back to the version away from the wall. Find the right place to work for you. Back to mountain for a breath. Press the reset button. This time, I'm slowly transferring the weight into the left foot. Got my focus point. I'm bringing the foot up. Maybe you're just practicing standing on one leg. And if that's where you're at in the journey, then embrace it. Be there. If you want to move into that more challenging version, then you pull the belly button to the spine as you extend the foot out. If you don't, keep the knee bent and work into your twist. Switch the grip with the hand. Reach back fully through the right arm. Find your center and be rooted before you start to shift your gaze. The more I press the foot into my hand, the more I hug the right femur into my hip, the more I root the left foot, the more I pull the belly button to the spine, the more centered I am, allowing me to expand even more. The more centered we are, the more expanded we can be. Back to mountain. Good, let's move to the center of our mats. All right, so Tadasana at the center of your mat. Find your neutral, take a breath, shake out any tension. Let the heart open. Be grateful for this moment. Be grateful that your body is healthy, that your body responds to the intentions. Feel your feet right underneath you, supporting you. You're right here, right now. The mind quiet. Let's bring the hands together. Extend out. We're going to go feet out underneath the wrist. Nice and wide. We're going to open from the right hip, pivot on the right heel, turn it out a full 90 degrees. I'm going to angle the back foot about half that. Look for a line from my right heel that would extend straight back through the left arch. And then I'm going to bend the front knee, keeping weight in the pinky toe side of this back foot until the knee is over the ankle. Ask the inner thigh to lengthen. Drop the sitting bones underneath me. Reach out wide to warrior two. So I'm going to inhale and reach with palms up. And then exhale, rotate from the arms. Press the palms down and feel my shoulder blades and my sitting bones release then. Pada Bandha is engaged. The arms are reaching wide. Nice full breath, opens the chest. Inhale, and to reach that right arm up, lengthen the spine, lift the heart. Exhale, extend over the side long. Revolve, reach over your head. Nice long line from the back foot through the extended fingertips. Come back to warrior two. Deep full breath here. And inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, extend over. Revolve, side ribs toward the ceiling, reach overhead, make a nice long line. Back to warrior two. One last time. Inhale. Exhale. Feet stay planted, the spine's moving, the breath is flowing. Back to warrior two. And release the bend in the knee. Bring those feet back to the center. Let's go the other way. So the left hip opens, lengthens the inner thigh, turn that foot out 90 degrees. This time the right toes are turning in, the heel going out a little wider, till they have established a foundation line from center of left heel through center of right arch. Keep a weight in the pinky toe side of the back foot. Slowly bend, keep this femur moving back and the hip broadening, the thigh broadening. Get the knee over the ankle. Drop the sitting bones underneath you. Nice and broad here, and then reach out, palms up. Arms are extension of the collarbones. Forearms turn the palms down, shoulder blades and hips release. Without disturbing our base, we just let that spine flow up on the inhale. And then we exhale, open and extend the side body. Revolve the side ribs, reach overhead. Back to warrior two. Inhale, lift the heart, lengthen the spine. Exhale, open the side body. Back to warrior two. One last time. Back to warrior two. Straighten the leg. Release the feet back to center, heel toe, heel toe. Shake out any tension from the lower body. Back to mountain for a breath. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, take in what you need. Exhale, let go of what you don't. Feel the abundance in the heart as you inhale. Cultivate gratitude for this moment, for the body, for the quietness of the mind. Good. Let's come down onto our mats here now. We're going to be sitting with the feet in front of us, knees bent. And we're going to work that boat variation that we worked on last week as a side crow prep, but can stand alone and be very effective on its own as well. Really instructive, again, about what's going on with the core, the body. All right, so we're starting here. So what I want to do is turn, place the upper outer arm against that thigh, and just really get a nice strong arm. That tripod stance, so I've got the elbows in line with the shoulders, the fingers wide. And I'm going to see if I can pick the toes up and breathe. And release and take a break. Let your back broaden. Inhale and exhale in that law of reciprocity. Giving and receiving in equal terms. And then we'll inhale, bring that head back up. We're going to go the other way. So I'm going to turn and I'm going to bring this part of the arm to the outside of the knee and just work on that tripod arm stance, fingers wide, elbows pinned in close under the shoulders. And then I'll see if I can pull the belly button to the spine and lift the toes. Whew. And breathe. And release. Take a break. You've earned it. Back is broad, head is heavy. Breathing in. Breathing out. If you were feeling tension anywhere else, right? Observe that. Was the neck straining? Was the jaw tense? Remember, those things won't help you to establish the strength and stability you need for that pose. You want to remember to release away from those. Let that go and then be able to use that energy where it's needed. At the core, at Uddiyana Bandha, through the legs. All right, so we're inhaling up. Here's your opportunity if you want to try side crow to work toward it, or if you just want to stay with that version. Okay, so I'm turning first. And I'm going to bring the hands into that position. Now you might find it easier if at first you take that one leg out and then bend this knee a little closer for the positioning part here, right? Because it's going to be really important to get the shoulders over the hand and to tuck and squeeze this arm and leg together. Then I can come back to the bent knees, really position, shoulders over hands, push down, lift up. Woo. And maybe it's just a millisecond and then you try it again. Or maybe the toes don't come up at all, but you figure out which muscles would need to work for them to come up. Play with that for however long works for you, and then come back to center and take a break. Press the reset button here. Don't be attached to results from the first side. Be using that mind proactively to observe and problem solve and increase self-awareness to take into the other side. Get yourself back to neutral. Remember, you can always go back to that side crow. Turn just the prep version, or you can take a break if you need it. All right, so I'm going to turn, and a lot of what needs to happen here is a real squeezing, a real bringing together of the arm and the leg. Then I have to establish the right tripod with shoulders over hands. And then pressing down into the hands, I want to do Uddiyana Bandha. See if I can pick the toes up. Maybe one toe. Take a break. Broaden the back. Relax the head heavy. Law of reciprocity. Quiet the mind. Quiet the nervous system. And then inhale and bring the head up slowly. All right. Let's take it to Setu Bandha. So in our bridge pose, let's bring the heels and sitting bones as close together as will work for you without impinging on the shoulders as we come up. Keep Pada Bandha in the feet, inner outer ball mount, center of the heel rooted. Lie back, always look straight up. Roll the outer fleshy part of the arms underneath you. Get the sternum to pop up toward the chin. And maintain that sternum to chin. Wiggle the arms into the best possible position for you. Pressing forearms into the earth. Clasping hands together if it works, or grabbing ankles if it works. Inhale, lift. Lengthen the front body. Pull the sacrum toward the belly. Lengthen the thighs toward the knees. Exhale into your feet, your arms, your shoulders. Exhale, release. Set the sacrum down. Run the back by taking the feet wider, the knees together. Rest the hands on the belly. Return to a neutral breath. Just drink in all that energy that we created, that we pumped up into the heart center, and just let it just move through you, just absorbing it thoughtfully. Let the tongue get heavy, the throat broad. We're going to come into a reclined eagle's pose. So what I'm going to do is cross the right leg over and then bring those arms in front of me and cross at the elbows and try to bring the palms of the hands together. So all this action is going to broaden the back, and I'm going to feel it broaden against the floor. And I'm going to have those elbows at shoulder level. And then I'm going to see if I can squeeze the knees closer and press the lower back body into the floor. So just a nice broad back body, very protective, quieting position, and just a nice deep breath. And then I'm going to exhale, unwind, unwrap, release back to center with the knees bent. And I'm going to cross the left leg over. So I want a nice, strong internal rotation of the legs squeezing together. And then I bring the forearms in front of me, facing me. And I'm going to wrap at the elbows and try to bring the hands toward one another. Lift elbows to shoulder height. And then lift the feet. Try to draw the knees and thighs closer up toward the navel, and breathe into that big, broad back body. And I'm going to exhale, unwrap, release. Back to knees bent, back to feet wider if the low back's needs to broaden. Find neutral breath. Tongue heavy, throat open and broad. Let's drop the right knee toward the floor. Keep your back body as it is, relaxed, neutral against the mat. Keep the right foot at the midline. Come on to the pinky toe edge. Hold the toes back so we have an arch in the foot and the hip joints active as we work it open. Breathing in, lengthen out along the thigh. Elongate that knee away from you. Exhale, sink the head of the femur heavy into the hip, back into the mat. Soften the tongue, soften the throat. And bring the right foot to the left thigh. Press the knee away from you. Keep the back body as it is, the head and neck and back relaxed and heavy. Thread the needle if you choose to, if you can do so without causing tension at the neck or shoulders. Reaching the hands through, drawing the legs closer with the arms, but the legs resisting that a little bit as you keep trying to press the right knee away from you. Working that hip and external rotation should feel the outer glute, outer hip is where we feel the sensations here. We come to our edge. Then we blur the edge using the law of reciprocity. Inhale, take in what you need. Exhale, give back. And then we slowly release. We're back to bent knees. Adjust the back body and let the left knee drop toward the floor on the left side this time. Come onto the pinky toe edge of the left foot. Keep it at the midline. Keep the shoulder blades in the back neutral and heavy. Inhale, lengthen from the inner groin, lengthen the inner thigh. Feel the knee move ever so slightly away from you. Exhale, sink the head of the left femur like a heavy weight to the rear of the hip, into your mat. Soften the tongue, soften the throat. Bring the left foot to the right thigh. Keep the back body undisturbed. Press the left knee away from you. Perhaps this is enough and you stay here. If you're straining at the head or shoulders or neck as you try to take your arms through, then this is where you should stay. If you thread the arms through, keep the toes flexed, the arch engaged, the hips active. Draw with the arms to pull the legs closer to the chest, but the legs don't just come along for the ride. They're working against it. And that dynamic work, that opposition is what brings this into alignment and works that outer hip, outer glute open. Law of reciprocity, breathing in, taking in what you need. Breathing out, letting go of what doesn't work for you, giving back, returning to the roots. And then a slow release. So we're winding down here. Please take the next minute or two to do any poses that would feel fulfilling or nurturing to you before our Shavasana. Perhaps you want to hug the legs in and rock. Perhaps you want to do another hip opener. Maybe you want to do down dog or child's pose to quiet the mind. Figure out what works for you. Make your practice about you, increasing your self-awareness, your balanced self-awareness, knowing what you need to be in greater balance and reciprocity with the universe. Okay, so we are winding down whatever last poses we chose to take, and we are ready to recline into Shavasana. If you need any props or sweatshirt or socks or blanket, please feel free to grab those things. As you lie back, take some time adjusting the back body, drawing the shoulder blades together and down toward the waist, smoothing the back body, moving the buttocks flesh so that we can feel that we're neutral and centered on the sacrum and the shoulder blades. Extending the arms out with the heart open. So I'm releasing the fleshy part of the upper arm underneath me gently. Perhaps wiggling, grounding the back body a little bit, then extending the feet as far away from us as is possible. Bring the big toes together and then exhale. Let the belly broaden. Let the hips open to what's comfortable. Readjust the back body if needed. And do all of those steps, those processes again and again until you find just the right place for you. If the low back is uncomfortable, you could take a little folded blanket or pillow or bolster under the knees. That would help to ground the femurs and release more weight into the hips and the low back. If the head's uncomfortable, gently turn it side to side with the breath, the inhales and the exhales, until you find just the right place to rest on the base of the skull. Nice long exhalation. Release the weight of the bones of the body fully into gravity's embrace. Feel yourself coming into the embrace of the earth, into the fullness of gravity, the fullness of the weight of the body. Let it be soothing. Let it be grounding. And then allow the muscles to melt over the framework of the bones and be soft. Letting go of any tension from our practice or any tension that we naturally hold in the body. Giving all effort up in this moment, fully releasing. We are always trying so hard. What if we just stopped trying for the next few moments? What if we just surrendered? What if we allowed grace to enter the body and sustain us? What if we were content to simply be? Once again, let your tongue drop heavy away from the teeth. Feel the throat open. Exhale and surrender yourself to the inner world. Let go of the outer world. And simply reside. Simply reside in that place deep within. Nowhere to go. Nothing to do. Nothing to accomplish. Just be. Allow your breath to deepen. Become more conscious. Allow it to be leisurely and slow. And allow it to guide movement and gentle awareness back out from center toward the peripheral body. Let this bubble into a stretch or a wiggling of the toes, fingers, a rolling of the ankles or the wrists. Perhaps stretching of the arms overhead. And then rolling onto the side and taking a moment there with the head and the body still heavy drinking in that stillness, being sure that it stays within us. And when you're feeling ready, coming up, let's take a seated position that's comfortable to you. Close class together. Wherever you're at, just make sure that you center the spine. Release the hips heavy. On the inhale, I invite you to reach up with me for hope, for grace, for contentment, for gratitude, and to draw each of those qualities into the heart center, where we pause and inhale to lift the heart higher, to lift our vibration higher, and exhale to settle the head heavier, the mind quieter, the back of the neck longer. Inhale and exhale, law of reciprocity till head and heart meet. And you are in this place of great contentment, great wisdom. Carry this place with you as you leave your mat. Take it out, share it with those around you, share it with those who need it most. Namaste. Thank you for practicing with me. Have a great rest of your day.